Well, welcome back to episode 3 of our Behind the Rules video series. My name is Mitchell Simpson, Competitions Manager for AFL Queensland. Today I'm joined by a couple of very special guests, 3-time Premiership player and AFLQ Hall of Famer, Simon Black, and of course the Youth Girls Coordinator from the Kenmore Bears, Zah Hardy. Welcome to you both.
Thanks, Mitch.
Very good. Obviously, Simon, we know a fair bit about your role in footy, but Zah, let's take a little bit of time to, for you to show us or share with us what your background in football is.
Well, I grew up in a very male-dominated football family, but I had 2 girls, and 3 years ago landed at the Kenmore Bears, and one daughter was in the under-13s, one in 17s, and pretty much immediately fell in love with the club. Really got involved very quickly. The position for girls youth coordinator came up and I was like, yes, please. And I've just hit the ground running with the girls. We've got 13s, 15s, 17s. We haven't implemented much, but my focus is bringing fun into training, creating friendships, letting the girls kind of arrive happy and finish happy. So we've put music on, we've had a few very girl-specific talks, and even this year we've implemented the 100%er award for just the girl that gives the greatest commitment each week at training. So just simple things, but adding fun to girls in footy.
Outstanding. I think you've touched on a couple of key points there that we're going to focus on throughout this whole series around keeping kids engaged at training, engaged on the football field, and what their, longer footy journey looks like within. So today we're going to be looking at more importantly, our age-appropriate rules. Simon, do you just want to take us a little bit through what that looks like?
Yeah, a couple of the key ones, Mitch, we're looking at implementing is around the smaller field sizes and not going to full-length fields until a bit later, age-appropriate-wise, and less players on the field. So I guess with that, you're going to get more opportunity for players to get involved with the actual game more opportunity to get involved with the ball and the contest, therefore more opportunity to be able to have more opportunity to improve, more decision-making, more components where you got an opportunity to, just be involved in the game more regularly. I'm a massive fan for it. I think you see so often there's massive space between players on a full-length field at 13s to pick an age group, and when they're more involved in the play more regularly, more opportunity to get advance your skills, develop your game. So I think it's a really good initiative by AFL Queensland.
And so, Zah, you're a parent, so these modifications, how do you see those impacting on your kids playing footy and those, in the broader junior footy community?
Well, I think, ultimately as a parent, our job is to see our kids enjoying it, to be on that ground, touching the ball, having fun, and I really feel that these modifications are going to allow that to happen pretty quickly. Yep,
yeah, very good. You've touched on there high-fiving a teammate, kicking a goal, all those bits and pieces around creating, that environment. Simon, you're a parent as well. That enjoyment factor when you sit in the, in the car ride on the way home from footy with the kids. What are they talking about?
It's the fun element. It's to Zarif's point. It's about having fun. It's about engaging the kids. We want our youth to be playing the game, into their 20s, and that's derived out of fun. It's ingraining the love of Aussie rules footy into them at a young age. To be, to pick a team and follow a team, and also play the game, our great game. So it is. It's I've got great memories as a 9, 10, 13, 14-year-old just embedding the love for the game, and a big element is creating fun. And it's a bit of a skill for some coaches, and it's great to have people like Zarif at junior clubs to be able to hone in on the fun element to help create some of that within the club off the field as well. But yeah, come back to one word, it's all about fun.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And so we touched on a little bit around field size, number of players on field. Obviously, as a coach, we want to try and avoid congestion as much as we can, give our kids the opportunity to actually get their hands on the ball and use it. Field size and the impacts on the game. So I just want to take us through probably a couple of the more in detail stuff.
Yeah, so we've actually done some study around, filmed some matches and done some statistics, and some key aspects that we are hoping to, with the modifications is increase the number of touches and therefore help skill development, be involved in the play more so. Therefore increase the amount of decision-making scenarios that individual players are involved with, decrease reliance on endurance and focus more on skill development because they're involved in the play more, increased concentration, I guess, and engagement because they're around the football more. They're not looking up at planes flying by and bugs in the grass for the little ones. Increased technical and tactical development and understanding of the game. And that comes back to the engagement part. If they're engaged in the game, they want to learn, they want to keep understanding the game, and that's only positive for the sport as a whole.
Yeah, very good. So you touched on some green space stuff there and the size of the field and how that opens up. Zara, how does that look like for you at Clubland in terms of actually finding space to play footy?
Oh, look, it's a constant challenge. It really is. I mean, green space has become so valuable. We probably notice it most at training because we sometimes can have up to 5, teams on the ground, and that really alters the drills we can do. What girls can actively be practicing. So green space is becoming a very valuable commodity.
Yeah, absolutely, and certainly one of the big priority areas for AFL Queensland, particularly across South East Queensland as well. So just on some of the research and data, one of the things that was quite interesting when looking at the age groups was their under-13s girls was by far the most contested, had by far the most contested possessions with upwards of around 86% of possessions being contested, which we know isn't conducive to, the ability to have a lot of, space to dispose of the ball correctly and get, that real key development side of things. So, outside of, I guess, that traditional gameplay elements, what do you think getting your hands on the footy does more for players' IQ and their ability to understand the game?
Well, it just does exactly that in terms of development, understanding the game, their improvement of decision making. I guess I look at the sport of soccer and the game futsal that they've played for a long time. A lot of the great soccer players around the world grew up playing futsal. And what's futsal? It's on a far, far smaller field or court than what a traditional soccer field is. And they speak about the amount of times they're involved in a game. It's only helped their skill development, their decision making, the whole overall skill acquisition. So being able to restrict the field, less players on there, you're naturally going to be involved in the play more regularly. You're forced to make more decisions, and it's only going to overall improve your game.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I really believe with this reduced field size, it's going to take a bit of that reliance of endurance away from the young kids. That kind of need to constantly be running and they're getting tired. They can actually focus on enjoyment, getting to the ball, touching the ball, enjoying the game instead of that reliance on, fitness and running and getting tired.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're still going to have your midfield group that are going to be able to run up and back, and you can, I guess as a coach, you can put your certain players, certain strategy-wise in certain positions, but you're not going to have so much space between your forward line group, for instance, and your back line or midfield group, and you're just going to be involved in the action more regularly, which is only a positive.
Yeah.
So we've obviously spoken about the benefits of it all. In terms of how we'll implement, these age-appropriate rules more specifically across the McDonald South East Queensland junior competitions. Simon, you just want to take us through, I guess, the types of leagues across the country that have actually, adopted or not adopted these age-appropriate rule models?
Yeah, West Australia's been doing it for a couple of years, Mitch. A couple of years, I think it is. So, yeah, they've put it in place. They've had some great benefits so far because of they got in a little bit earlier, and I guess we're following suit nationally on the back of WA. There are 3 types of leagues across the country, and it's pretty easy to see why the age-appropriate rules are useful. Model leagues are those who've implemented all of the age-appropriate rules, and these leagues have had the highest attraction of new participants, 10% higher year on year than the next league, which is potential adopters. These leagues implemented some of the age-appropriate rules and saw a lower attraction of new participants and, unfortunately, an increased attrition rate. Then we have the resistors, who don't implement the age-appropriate rules and have the lowest attraction of new participants.
Well, look, I think that's about all we're going to cover off on today, so thank you both so much for your time. If anyone wants to watch any of our previous episodes, this is obviously episode 3 of a 5-part series, please head over to the official AFL Queensland YouTube channel. But otherwise, the next episode of this series will focus on our specific updates more locally in 2024. So, as always, whether you're new or existing to the game, head over to play.afl and find your way to play today.